So this is what we saw in our previous classes, that is data set. Then we made the T3 matrix, and from T3 matrix we got your T3 filter, and based on the filtering we could do decomposition or we could do classification. Now if you see or recall last time, what we have done is, to do classification, what are the essential steps? First is, you have to define training area. You have to define training area. So last time we did this training area part on many different images. So I think we did it on AirSAR data or something like that. So today also we will be doing start to end. So whatever practicals we are doing, we will always do it start to end. We will not start off with something previous and go ahead. We will always do from start to end. So we define the training area. Then after defining the training area, we optimize the kernel function. So here we have optimization of kernel function. And after optimization, we do a step called as run classification. So we first train the kernel function with the help of some training sample. So this training area is nothing but training sample, and we give samples to the function and say that if the input is like this, the output is this. If the input is like this, then the output is something else. So we define this kernel function. Just a minute. Sir, we require the SMOS package for Snap. Yes. Varun, you can download the SMOS package. Whichever is the latest one you download, no problem. We don't require very high-end things out of that. So anything would do. But if you are downloading, download the latest one. Is that okay, Varun? Yeah. So what we have here is, then we run. After optimization, after giving training, we have to give training to somebody. So that somebody is kernel function. And then we run the classification. Some common kernel functions are, I'll just write it down here. So we can have a linear kernel function. So then we have polynomials, and then we also have something called as RBF, that is a radial basis function. I think we have used RBF. Now the classification technique that we used was SVM. The classification technique that we used was SVM. SVM means support vector machine. What the algorithm is not we are quite interested in, but this is not the only classifier. There are many other classifiers. So what could actually happen is that we may have to classify. If you want to see, if you classify something and if you see the confusion matrix that it is not good, then what you can do? You can go to another classifier. So let me call it as classifier 2. So I'll use the same T filtered data. First I classified using SVM. Now I am going to classify using another classifier. So that another classifier is going to be, today we are going to use something called a Wishart classifier. We are going to use something called as Wishart classifier. Now, what is important is that SVM was classified using the training area samples. So, how can you say that Wishart is better than SVM or SVM is better than Wishart? So, to say that one of them is better, their training areas have to be the same. Their training areas have to be the same. So today what we are going to do is we will be seeing how to keep the training areas same when we are using multiple classifiers, when we are using different classifiers. So some of the classifiers might not require this kernel function optimization. So they are having this optimization inbuilt inside them. So we may have to, the next step is again same. So after this, we have to give training area. And then after training area, some kind of optimization may be required or may not be required. But in Wishart, it is not required. So we will just say run classification. So this is our today's task. So first what we will do is we will pick up a data set. So data set will be AIRSAR FLEO line, will be AIRSAR FLEO line. Then we will generate the T3 matrix of it, and then we will go to filter this thing. So the filter that we will use is Lee sigma, and probably later you can try this with refined Lee. So we are going to use two filtering techniques, Lee sigma and refined Lee. Then this part we are not going to do decomposition. We are going to do only classification. So this is the first classification. This is the second one. So first we will classify using SVM. We will classify using SVM. This is training area. We will give the training area. Then we will optimize the sum function. We will select any of one of the linear, polynomial, or RBF. If you use RBF, then only optimization comes. If there is linear or polynomials being used, then there is no need for optimization. And then we will run classification. Then what we will do is we will again set our input directory to Lee sigma and then do Wishart classification on inside it. But this time we have to give the same training area. We have to give the same training area that we used in SVM at this same place. So the training areas would be this training area and this training area would be the same. Classifiers are different, but training areas have to be the same. It is simple logic that if you want to say that one person is better than other, then that person should have attended the same class. That person should have heard from the same teacher. That person should have also studied for same number of hours. And then only you can say that this is better than this. So that is what we are actually trying to do by keeping training areas the same. Now keeping training areas the same in Polestar Pro is a little bit weird, but yes, we can keep the training areas same. No need to give the training areas 2 times. So why this technique is important is because let us say that you are dealing with SVM and you gave some training areas. So when you again start with Wishart, it is very difficult to exactly put a square again at the same point for the second time. So that is why we will do a trick and get this particular training area here, and then we will run the classification, that is Wishart classification. So I hope this particular thing is clear, and if you want you can just take a screenshot of this thing, and then we will straight away start with our practical. So do you want me to wait for 2-3 minutes so that you note this down? Yash, Paritosh, Aman, do you want me to wait or should I go on?
Sir, go on.
Okay. So now, firstly, what we have to do is we have to download the AirSAR database. Okay. So I'm starting with from where to download it. So you also all can go to your screens and you can just type here AirSAR data, and what you can see here is a few links. So you can just type here FlevoLand data. You can type here FlevoLand data. So once you type here FlevoLand data, you can see here sample data sets Pulsar Pro ESA. So just click on the first link and you can see this file here just below it. So these are all AirSAR data. One is of having mountain region, one is having only agricultural land and few water bodies, and this is having settlements, then mountains and water bodies. So there are three types of database. So what you will do is you will download this database, FlueLand NL. Download this particular database, FlueLand NL, and store it somewhere on your PC. So if you want, I'll just download it with you, and I'm just storing it on my desktop. Okay, and what you can do is now just unzip this thing and say extract to a folder. Always extract to a folder. Okay, so you'll get that folder here, and then you can delete the first data. So what we have here is AirSAR FlueLand data. Okay. Now you can see inside this there is one README file. So you can consider opening it. You can consider opening it, and you can see how from where this data has been extracted and what are the details. So this is a FlueLand data STK-MLC format with 750 rows and 1024 columns. So there is a information of rows and columns, and there is a information of file format. There is a information of file format. So we will just minimize this for now, and now you can minimize this screen as well, and now you can start your Pulsar. So now we can start our Pulsar. Now the usual setting, you can say single data set, and then go to the environment and go to desktop where I have stored this thing, and give this folder as the path. Say select folder and just say save, and then you'll get this warning. So you should say yes to it. So just say yes. So we are actually on now uh, on the verge of creating T3 with the help of the data set. So I downloaded the data set, and now I'm going to extract it and do the other procedure. Yeah. So now I'll go to import and select the sensor. So this is a AirSAR data. So I'll click on AirSAR. So all of you, are you with me? Are you with me? Yes, Aman, Apurva, Preet, are you all with me? Okay. So now we will go to the AirSAR, select the AirSAR data, and once you say AirSAR, you can just click this, the first option, and whether to choose the second or first, that we don't know actually. So like I said, if you go to the database, here it is written stk-mlc. So what is written inside this is MLC. So that is why we will use MLC, and then we will click on MLC here, and then give that STK file, this cleavor.stk. Click on this and give this particular file, and then say open. Okay. So I got that file now. Very carefully I'll read the header. I'll say read header. It is saying do not forget to extract data. Okay, fine, we know that. And now what we can see here is this 750 and 1024. You can see that. You have the 750 and 1024. So this 750 and 1024, we have seen this before. That is here. It has 750 rows and 1024 columns. So it's not a perfect square. It is slightly rectangularish in uh, shape. So this is the data. So what they are telling you is when you open the file, your file should look something like this. If it is not looking something like this, that there is some problem. Okay. So now you say okay. Now you say okay to this, and once you say okay, you go to import and say extract, and this time we will do a full resolution because the image is not very big, so no need to take any sub area, no need to take any sub areas. So we will do a full resolution, and here you also take full resolution. Here there is no need to multi-look because again here if you multi-look, then your rows will become very small. So that is why don't do multi-looking. Do full resolution. Then we'll go to T3. See to it that T3 is selected here, and then finally say run. So do you want to create? Yes. Now why we have chosen this database? Because it's just 7 MBs. So it won't take much time to classify and all. Okay, so it's creating the T3 matrix. And just for your information, you should keep this folder open so that you come to know what's going on inside that folder. You can also open it and check for yourself what all things are getting created inside this. So okay, the processing is done. Now you can go to display and just say create RGB file, and then we say poly, and then just say run. Okay, so the RGB should be ready. You can see here that the RGB file is ready, and once you open it, I'm sure it looks the same way that was there in the PDF. If I'm not wrong, it looks almost the it's not almost, it looks exactly the same way. So you can see this. So you can see it for yourself and just confirm before going ahead. What is there in the PDF is there. So if you have extracted till this point, just put your poly RGBs in the chat box. Just put your poly RGBs in the chat box. Shruti, I am expecting the actual image. Yeah. Utkarsh, okay. So you all have extracted this. Okay. Okay. Shruti, good. Okay. Others also, have they extracted the image? So this is a very crucial step, and people get stuck here to, uh, when they want to make the training areas here. Aman, I think, has your image got cropped, Aman? Did you use multi-looking, Aman? Okay, so probably it's just a bigger view of the original image. Okay, fine. Okay, okay, Yash. Yash, if possible, you can just put the screenshot. No need to upload the file because I can't see the file. I have to download it and see. So if possible, just put screenshots so that we are on the same page. Okay, so that's fine. So let's just close this thing and move ahead. Okay. Now we want to apply some kind of filtering on this. So we will go to polarimetric speckle filter, and first we will apply Lee sigma filter. So like I said, here first we are going to apply, first we will apply Lee sigma, and then second we will apply refined Lee filter. Second we will apply the, so the refined Lee filtering part you will do, Lee sigma part I will show you. Okay. So I am going to process, speckle filter, Lee sigma filter. So you can leave the defaults whatever they are and just run it. Do you want to create the directory? Yes. So I hope our today's task is very clear. Last time we applied just one classifier. Now we are trying to apply two classifiers for the same training area. Okay, so some kind of filtering is happening. Good. So after filtering, you can post your images in the chat box. Okay. So it is creating the standard folders. Okay, great. Okay, Utkarsh has got it. Yes. Utkarsh, you can see the water body, it has become smooth now. Are you getting that smooth effect? Okay, great. So when mine is ready now, and you can see here that another folder has got created. So what I'll do is I'll just make one common folder called as Fluoland, and I'll just drop this inside this, and I'll just give it to raise it. Okay, so that should do the job. So I have my two datas now. One is my original data, and the second folder I got my Fluoline signal. Okay, now I want to apply classification on this. So what I can do is now, what I'll do is I'll just send you a small image so that which you could open on your screens, and okay, just let me check it. Okay, so see, I'm going to send you this image uh, in which this is the ground truth data. Ground truth means, so what you can do is here you can put one square, then here you can put another square, just here you can put another square, then here you can put another. So every color is one class. Every color is one class. So you can just put that. Uh, so what we'll do is we'll pick up one or two classes from this image, and so I'll just post this in our chat box so that you all get it. So what I'm to train something, you should have ground truth. So what I'm doing is now I'm sending you the ground truth data. Okay, so you all can see the ground truth in the chat box. So we can use the same ground truth for this thing. So let's go to Pulsar Pro again. Now you can see that image in the chat box, and let's define 2-3 classes here. There are 12 classes in all, so no need to define all 12 of them. You can define one or two, or rather 4 or 5, which are the big classes, and that would be enough. So just before going ahead, just see to it that you are in that filtered folder. Yes. And now you go to process, then say polarimetric segmentation, and then go to SVM supervised classification. SVM supervised. Oh, what happened? Select the folder, save it. Okay. Yeah. So go to SVM supervised classification. Click on this, and now what we will do is we want the BMPs, we want the confusion matrix, we want the color coded maps also. So now we will first go to the graphic editor. First step number one is giving the training areas. So it will say open a BMP file, just say yes. After going to yes, this menu will open, and just below this I there is a open button. You can just open this and go to the desktop, and here we can go to our Clio database and open the BMP file. Oh, okay. So before going here, we actually did not make the RGB. So let's make the RGB first. Okay. So just a recheck. You can see inside this Sigma folder, there is a poly RGB and it has been filtered. It's a filtered RGB. Okay, great. Now we go to the exit this thing and go to process, then go to polarimetric segmentation, SVM. The first thing that we have to do is set the training areas. So open the graphic editor, say yes, then open the image. Now we have that image in this folder, that is poly RGB. Say open, so this thing will open here. Now very carefully, you have to put the classes, and do we have to apply refine Lee sigma 2 before classification? No, Utkarsh, that is a completely different process. We have to apply only Lee sigma. Don't apply one filter on another filter. Only one filter at a time. Yeah. So now we will give areas. So just for the sake, you can all scroll up and just see the the ground truth image that I have given you. You can see the ground truth image. In the ground truth image, you can see that here there is one class. This is water, but I should give more samples of the same class. So here I'll give more. Again, here also I'll give something. Then I'll go to new class. So you can now see the pink color class, pink color. So pink color class is somewhere here. Actually, that is forest. I've given some training areas there. You can also give one more small one here. Okay. Then you can go to new class 2. And again, you can give one training area here. Then here. So now I'm on the purple color class. And there are few more. Oh no, I cleared it. Okay, my bad. I'll do it again. This is class 1. Um, okay, so I'll start off again. I'm just changing the color of the boundary to black instead of white because some of the classes themselves are white. So new areas I'm giving it here. So just start drawing squares. Then go to new class. Then we have one class here, forest class. Now by looking at it, you will not understand whether it is forest or what. If by experience you get that. Okay. And again, third class is this. Then again, new. Then we have here and here. This is my third class. Then let's go to the fourth class. So here, this is my fourth class. I think you can take the yellow class as the fifth class. I'm just saying the new class here is the yellow class. Okay. And so I think 5 are enough. If you want to take one more sixth one, you can take. In all, there are 12. So if you want, you can take all 12, no problem. In all, there are 12. If you want all 12, you can take all 12, no problem. Of course, it will take some time, but yeah, that's how it is. So I think this is enough. 6 classes is enough. And after I give 6 classes, there are 12, but I have taken only 6, so no problem. We want to see how classification is done. So I have taken 6 classes, which is good enough. So after taking 6 classes, I'll just say save and say OK and see to it that in step 2, BMP and confusion matrix are ticked. In step 3, color coded map poly is ticked. Then in step 4, P3 is ticked. Say training sample 500. It is important to note that this is an unbalanced training point. Unbalanced means what? The samples that you are giving is not, they are not all in the same ratio. They are in different ratio. You can see that water body is a big element. Then the purple class is big, but the yellow class is comparatively smaller. So red class is even smaller. So while training, you have to tell how rare this class can be. So that information we have to provide. When you select class probability and pick these BMPs, and then let's first work with RBF. Let's work with RBF and say setup and run. Tick recommended and say setup and run. And then you say optimize. So it will start the optimization algorithm. So this black screen will come up and the optimization has started. Okay, the optimization is done. So now say exit and save CV parameters. And now you say run classification. Step number 6 is run classification. So what we actually did is, first we took the data, downloaded the data, then used Lee Sigma filtering, then we generated T3 filter. On T3 filter, we decided to use SVM classification. Then we gave training areas. While giving training areas, we defined 6 classes. We defined 6 classes. And then we optimized. We use RDF. So RDF needs to be optimized, so we optimize that. And now the last step that we are doing is running classification. So if here the training area, has got 6 classes, when we apply Vishart, that time this also needs to have 6 classes. So that is the concern. So let's go back. Now I'm saying run classification. Okay, so it's running the classification. It will take some time based on the RAM that you have. In the meantime, if there are some questions, I can have some. You can unmute and ask. So you can see with just a 7 MB image, it takes so much of time. So if the image is like 3 GBs, how much time would it take? It will take a huge amount of time.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Aman here.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, after clicking on graphic editor, it tells me to add a BMP file.
Yeah, so say okay.
Then, sir, one file opens. Sir, there is nothing coming.
So there is no file in that folder, na?
Yes.
So now exit everything.
Done.
Exit. Now you go to display.
Yes.
Say create RGB file.
Yes.
And select poly and create the file.
Okay. Done.
And now you go again to the go to process segmentation SVM, and now you if you do the same thing, if you open the graphic editor, now you should be able to see the file.
So it's not coming.
Okay, can you share your screen?
Okay, sir.
I hope you are in the correct folder.
Yes. Sir, is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible. Go to graphic editor.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Say yes. Now below that I, there is a folder. No, that I you can see na in the right corner. I, there is one I.
Yes.
हाँ, तो उसके नीचे फोल्डर ओपन का ऑप्शन है देखो.
ये वाला.
Not that. No, folder open. हाँ,
ये.
is there ना.
Yes. Open. Okay, so got it.
Yeah.
So can I stop sharing?
Yes, stop sharing.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I hope you can now see my screen. And full circle. So the training is getting completed. So how can you look at that whether training is getting completed or not? You can go to this folder AirSAR Sigma P3 and you can see here the files are getting populated. So please open that folder and identify svm underscore training underscore area file. Open the airsar underscore fluveland underscore sigma folder. Inside that you will get P3 and inside P3 you will get svm training areas. So you should be seeing that svm training area file has come there. svm training area file has come there. So if you just open this file, you can see that there are 6 classes. NB underscore training underscore classes is 6. There are 6 classes inside that. And this is the SEM training cluster. So these are the training areas that we have given. And then we have SEM classification file. So you can see now here everything has got classified into 6 classes. Everything has got classified into 6 classes. And then we have the probability distribution. And here we have a poly of the same class. That means here also you will see 6 colors. Now you should open this file, that is svm underscore confusion matrix. svm underscore confusion matrix. So if you open this file, you can see that the classification accuracies are, see the diagonal elements of this class. See the diagonal elements of this matrix. You can see that class 1 is correctly classified as class 1 with the accuracy of 99%. Class 2 is correctly classified as class 2 with the accuracy of 96.17%. So the classification accuracies are quite good as far as the number of classes are concerned. As far as the number of classes are concerned. If you increase the number of classes, then your classification accuracies can get further affected. So anyway, that's a part of study, but you should be able to identify 2 files, svm underscore confusion matrix and svm underscore training areas. Are you all able to identify both these 2 files? Okay, great. Yes, I can see your classified file. whatever that file is, doesn't matter. Everybody might have different colors because you might have given a particular class first. So your Polestar Pro might have taken a color first. That doesn't matter. Have you all identified these two files? SVM confusion matrix and SVM training areas? If yes, then just put a yes in the chat box. Okay, others? What about others? Okay, great. So now what we did is we applied SVM successfully on the given image. We applied SVM successfully on the given image. Now carefully see what I am doing. I am just exiting this now. I am exiting this. Now when I am applying Wishart classification, so the next classification that I have to apply now is Wishart. So I did training, I did optimization, I ran the classification. After running the classification, I got something like confusion matrix, and I could see the clusters. That is the training clusters. So I could see all that. Okay. Now similar thing I should be able to see for Wishart. So we did this part. So this side is done. Now let's look at this part. Again and again I am saying my training areas have to be the same. That is the basic criteria. So let's see how to do that. Okay. Again exit this. Just do a check whether you are in the same folder or not. Whether you are in Flueline_Sigma folder, yes. So now again you will go to process. Again you should go to process. Polarimetric segmentation. Polarimetric segmentation. And this time we will go to Wishart supervised classification. We will go to Wishart supervised classification. Now this will open. This will open. So again, your classification configuration, just see to it that BMP and confusion matrix are picked. Then color coded you want using poly. So I'll use poly here. Okay. Now you can see that this run training option is disabled. This run training option is disabled. So now what you should do is, are you all with me? Okay, now focus on each and every step from this point. Focus on each and every step from this point. Now in training areas, I will go to graphic editor and say open a BMP file. Open a BMP file. So same thing will open, this I and this graphic editor. Now I'll say open. Again I'll say open, and I'll go to poly RGB. Again I'll go to what? Poly RGB. And say open. And say open. So I should get my poly RGB just like before. Now please note, I am just opening this folder as a reference. I'm just opening this folder as some reference. So you can see now we want to give same training areas. What we gave for SVM, the same thing we have to give. If we use this graphic editor option, you can give training areas. But the training area will not be exactly the same as that of SVM. It could be near SVM. Yes, somebody can say I'll give exactly at the same point, but there will be a difference between the training areas that you give, and that is the reason why we are doing this trick. So what you should do now is click on this button, rectangle section. Click on this button, rectangle section, selection. Okay, again I'm getting this file and just say save. Click on this button, it should become yellow, and then directly say save. Once you say save, it will throw one error that is called as BMP color bar doesn't exist. That means it is telling you that you have not selected any class. This error means it is telling you you have not selected any class. Once you say okay, I have not selected any class. Once you say okay, in this T3, in the same folder here, you can see one file has got created, Vishart underscore training underscore areas. You can see one file has got created, Vishart underscore training underscore areas. Now what you can do is you can click on this open button. You can click on this open. So that particular folder will open. Now I want to make this SVM training area file same as Vishart training area file, but the names of both the training area files should be different, because when you are using Vishart classification, Polsar Pro will look for a file with name Vishart underscore training. It will not look for a file called as SVM underscore training. But we want that the inside story of both of them should be same. We want that the inside story of both of them should be same. So what you can do is you can right click on this file here itself. You can right click on this file, say open. Once you open, this notepad will open. Then you select everything, say Control A. You can say Control A. Everything gets copied. Then you say Control C. Control A means mark all, Control C means copy. I hope you know all that. And then you can just close this file. And then you can open Vishart training areas file. Again open Vishart training areas file. You can see there is nothing in this file. It is absolutely just one point it has taken. So here you again say Control A and replace this entire thing by what you have copied. Replace this entire thing by what you have copied. That means the SVM training area file, whatever was there, whatever values were there in SVM underscore training underscore areas, that we copied into Vishart underscore training underscore area. And then you simply say save, Control S. You could see a star here. If you say Control S, that star will go, and you can just close this file. Now you can check that. Now you select this file and say open. Select this file and say open. Now what has happened? My training area file of SVM and training area file of Vishart is same from the inside. That means they both contain the same data, but their file names are different. One is having SVM underscore training underscore areas, and the other one is Vishart underscore training underscore area. Now we will say run training process. Now we will say run training process. Now we will say run training process. So training is over, and then we will say run the classifier. So now let's look for this T3. What is there inside this T3 now? Okay, yeah. So the classification is done. Great, it's pretty fast. It's processing some small things. Okay, done. Now you can go to this folder, again T3. So you can see the SVM files are still there. First, what we did, first we generated the poly RGB. Let us look it in sequence. First we generated the poly RGB. Then we generated the SVM training area file. Then what we did, we looked for the confusion matrix. So we saw the confusion matrix. Now you can see the training area file of SVM. This, can you see this cluster set for SVM and cluster set for Vishart? Cluster set for SVM and cluster set for Vishart. They both are the same. They both are the same. So if you want, you can just open it and check. This is for SVM. This is for SVM. And this is for Vishal. So you can see the training area exactly at the same positions. We have got those training areas for both SVM as well as Vishal. And now you can see the confusion matrix. So the confusion matrix of SVM is here. And then we have a confusion matrix of Vishart also. So we have two confusion matrix. So you can see that this is for Vishart and this is for SVM. So both are having 6 classes. Both are having 6 classes. Class populations are also same. 4801, 216, all the class populations are same. But here, class 1 is getting a classification accuracy of 85.98, whereas SVM is giving us 99%. Then you can see C3 is getting classified 100%. Here it is 99.9, 7 means almost 100. So you can see when we change our classifier from SVM to Vishart, my class 1 accuracy gets affected a lot. My class 1 accuracy gets affected a lot. The other accuracies are almost the same. They are not, there is not much change. So we can say to classify class 1, Vishart classifier is not that good as compared to SVM. So SVM can classify mostly everything better. So, okay, Utkarsh, you can continue. You can continue. Yeah, I'm going to wait for all of you. So this is the way we apply 2 different classifiers on the same training area. 2 different classifiers on the same training area. This is the SVM classified file and this is the Vishart classified file. One is the SVM classified file and the other one is Vishart classified file. Now you can see that Vishart classification is pretty clear. It doesn't have any spots. That means there are no noisy classes in between. But SVM has got some spots here. So red was water body, but you know there is a road here. So road also it is classifying as water body. And in between also it is saying that there are some water spots. So that is the case. Now how to actually check this? Open Google Earth and check what is there at that point. So that is how we try to do the classification. Anyways. So have you all understood how to classify this thing? Okay. Now what you all will do is, now you all will do this same thing for refined leaf. You will do the same thing for refined leaf. And this time, now we are changing the filter, but now I want my areas to be the same. I want the areas that we used for Lee sigma. So now that part we will see. So now the next is, all this remains the same. Now Lee sigma is done. Now we will look at refined Lee. Now we will look at refined Lee. So what are the steps? Take the data set, generate T3, generate T3 filtered, but T3 filter using refined Lee. Then from refined Lee we will go to SVM, give the same training areas that we gave before, and then we will go to Wishart and give the same training areas that we gave here. So can you start? Can you start? Okay, I will also parallelly start with you all. So I'm just closing this T3 now. It's of no use to me. Just say exit, exit. Okay. Now I am going to again set my folder back to the original file. That is airsar underscore fueline. So save and exit. Then I'll go to process, polarimetric filter. This time I'm going to apply Lee refined filter. Okay, leave the defaults and say run. Do you want to create the directory? Yes. Okay, so Utkarsh, but it should not take long because our file size is very small. Okay, Utkarsh, see the folder. See, open the folder and see whether you have got the files there or not. If you have got the files, means processing is over. Okay, so I have now created my, I'm going to the desktop and seeing this Evoland file. So you can see Sigma was there before. Now the latest file which is generated is Lee. And inside that there is a T3, but there is no RGB. So immediately what I will do, I will go to display, create RGB, poly, and say run. Poly and say run. And then you can see that here we also got a poly RGB. But this time we used refined Lee filtering. We use the refined Lee filter. You can close that. Okay. Now comes the tricky part. Now we want to use SVM again for the same training areas. We want to use SVM using the same training areas. So now what we will do is, again, I will go back to AirSAR Fluent. I'll again go back to AirSAR Fluent Sigma folder. Please note, I have gone to Sigma folder. From there, I will copy this SVM training area file. I will copy this SVM training area file and I will put it in Lee T3 file. I paste it here. I paste it here. So you can see that I got this file here. Okay, that is the training area file. Now I'll go to Polesar Pro, save process, polarimetric segmentation, again SVM supervised classification. Now you can see that there is already a training area file here. SVM training area file is automatically there because we already put it there. Then coded color map. Then here we have poly, same configurations as before. So this time we did not use the graphic editor for the second filtering because we have already made the training area file before. So every now and then making the training area file can become very tedious job because sometimes there are 12 to 13 classes and each class has got around 4 to 5 samples. So if you just multiply 12 into 5 for rough calculation, you have to give 60 areas. So every now and then you cannot give 60 areas, and most importantly, you cannot give with the same accuracy exactly the same 60 areas with the help of graphic editor. That is the reason why once we make the training area file, we use the same training area file again and again, so that my trainings is on the same area, so that we can do some kind of comparisons later on. So here we have again RBF kernel optimization, optimize it. So again it is optimizing. Okay, optimization is done. Exit and save CV parameters. Say OK, and then save. Run classification. So I'm running the classification. Okay, Utkarsh, can you share your screen? In the meantime, we can solve your query. Yeah, Utkarsh, instead of reinstalling Polesar Pro, I think you should reinstall that tcl.activate file. TCL active file which is there, na? That also you reinstall. Utkarsh, which operating system are you using? Yeah, so I am also using Windows 10 Pro only. Okay, if you have got the classified files, just put it in the chat box. While applying the second filtering technique, do not use graphic editor again. Just copy the SVM training file from Lee Sigma to Refinedly, that's it, and directly run the classification. Okay, Yash has got the output. Yash, this is the output of SVM, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I am at now 80%. Okay, others. Okay, I am at now 95% almost. So it will be done within no time. Let me keep my folder ready here to just see what's coming there. Okay, so I have got my classification file, I've got my files. Okay, okay, so I've got the SEM classification file. Others, what you are showing me is, I think, the SEM classification distribution file. This file you should see. I think you are seeing the other file. You are seeing this file. I think you are looking at this file. You should look at this one. Okay, so this is my, you can see now the water body class is getting very nicely classified. Okay, now we'll again go back to Polestar Pro, exit all this, again go to process, and this time we will want to apply Wishart classification, but for the same training areas. Very important. I'll select this as poly. Now I'll go to graphic editor, say yes, then I'll say open, then I'll say poly RGB, then I'll say open, then I'll choose this rectangle selection and just say save. Once I do that, just a blank file appears here. Just a blank file will appear here. And now identify the training area file. Where is the SCM training area file? Here we have the SCM training area file. Open it. Control A, Control C. This copy the things inside it and paste it inside the Wishart. Save it. And now go to Polestar Pro. You can now see here run training. So run training. And after running training, you can run the Wishart. We can see that Wishart runs faster than SVM. Okay, Preet, this is with Wishart or what? Preet, which is Wishart and which is SVM? Wishart is on the left, okay, and SVM is on the right. Okay, that's right. Okay, good. So let's look at my file again. Okay, I got my Wishart file here, and this is my SVM file. SVM, and this is Wishart. So you can compare them side by side or whatever, however you like, no problem. And close this. And again, look for confusion matrix for Wishart, the confusion matrix for Wishart. And we also want a confusion matrix for SVM. So the first one is Wishart, the second one is SVM. You can look at the file headers and you can see that SVM is still better than Wishart. As far as class 1 is concerned, SVM is still better than. And class 1 was the, if you recollect, class 1 was water body. Water body was the first class that we gave in our graphic editor. So as far as water bodies are concerned, SVM comes out to be better as compared to Wishart. But other classes are better with Wishart. Yes. Now what we will do is, so I'll just exit this. Now you will take up a San Francisco image. Take up a San Francisco image and apply Lee Sigma, then SVM, and then Wishart. Start with San Francisco, then apply a SVM and then a Wishart. So you can again, if you want the typical steps, go to the sample database, download the file. I'll just say here San Francisco. I'll make a folder so that everything goes inside that file itself, and just say save, show in folder. You need to open that folder. And then just unzip this thing. And you can remove the file. So again, this is also a STK format. This is also an STK format. Okay, and it is a MLC STK, same. And this time it is the San Francisco Bay Area. So I'll go to Pulsar Pro, single data set, change the environment to San Francisco, save this, go to import, again airborne, this is the same data, AirSAR data, and select MLC, San Francisco, STK, open, so you will get this, and then finally say read header, has no headers, okay, but we know the is 900 cross 1024. Now from where did I write this 900 cross 1024? Here you can see here 900 cross 1024. Now say read header, okay, why is it happening this way? Okay. Okay. Let's say 900, okay, I got it. 900 1024 and say okay. Just type 900 and 1024 and say okay. So you will get this option. Don't forget to extract data before running any data process. Say okay. Then info extract, full resolution. See to it that T3 is selected. Run. Yes. And now let's look for the folder here. I should get a T3 folder here. And inside T3, everything is getting ready. Okay. Now we say process, speckle filtering. So I'm going to Lee Sigma filter. But before that, let's generate the RGB file. Let's run it. So the poly RGB has come here. The poly RGB, but it has got noise. So let's clean it by using process filters, the polarimetric speckle filter. Then we have Lee Sigma filtering. Leave the defaults. Say yes. So the filter is getting applied. on the image, and I should get another folder here. In San Francisco, yes. In that we have a T3. Let's see. It's getting processed. Now, what you could do later on is you can use the big San Francisco image that we already have downloaded, and out of that you take a subband of San Francisco airport, and then try to apply classification. And that same classification area, SVM classification area, you will use for Wishart. So AIRSA data is from an airborne platform, and ALOS PALSA2 data is from a spaceborne platform. So you can write a paper on this, that I applied classification algorithms with the same training areas, one for airborne and one for spaceborne, and which gives better classification. So you can write a technical paper on this. Okay, so classification is done. I'll create the RGB file because I run it, I require it for classification. Okay, so the RGB file is created. So exit. Now process polarimetric segmentation. First step is SVM. So first, since this data set is only different, I have to again use graphic editor. Step number 1, and view the training areas. So let me define 3 classes here. One is water body, then settlements, and then we have some mountain area. So okay, and take this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Since the water body is huge, you should take more number of samples because that class is big enough. So I have taken 7 or 8 sampling points. Ten samples. Then for class number 2, let's take it for settlements. So settlements are also quite a few. This is 1. Then new. This is 1. I'm just taking 7, 8 samples of. And then class 3 is this mountains. Or tree covers. So you can just say save and say okay. So whether this file has come or not, yes, it has come. And you can see that there are 3 classes and there are so many training areas. Okay, fine. Now this one file only I will use for Wishart, and then I will apply refinedly, and then I'll use the same file for again. Yes, good. Yes. Yes, which one is SVM and which one is Wishart? I'll say poly, say run the RDF kernel optimization tool. Yes, which one is SVM and which one is Vishal? Okay,
Right one.
right one is
Vishal.
okay. So in terms of confusion matrix, you should compare. Then we say run classification. Now you have gained the skill of not only classifying but using different classifiers for the same area, same sampling areas. So which is good. Okay, so it's 25% complete. Okay. So let me just do some formalities in the meantime. So almost on the verge of completion. Yeah. So what is it that we are seeing now? Okay. So let's go back to Pulsar Pro and see for ourselves what we have got. Large icons. So I got this SEM classification file. So my green is plant cover and blue is the mountain areas and the forests, and red is the water body. Okay, so now going ahead, so let's exit all this and quickly apply. What's the way to apply? Segmentation, Wishart, hit this, graphic editor, yes, poly RGB, open, rectangle selection, save. Don't try to make any file. Say OK. Then click on this open training area file. First open the SVM training area file. Copy everything from this and put it in the Wishart. And just say Control S. That's it. So open. Now the run training process is done. Activated. The run training process button is activated. Now run the training. Classification means always training first and then the classifier has to run. And then run. Okay. So let's see in our folders what I've got. Okay. So this is the Wishart file and this is the SVM supervised classification file. So you can see in Wishart here at the top, though this is water body only, but it is getting classified wrongly. So, but SVM is giving me a very good classification. So that's where again SVM comes out to be better. And confusion matrix wise, Wishart and this 199 and 94 class 3. Class 3 was the mountains, and here we have Wishart. There is the confusion matrix. So this is the confusion matrix of SVM, and this is the confusion matrix of Wishart. So you can see that SVM is giving better results as far as class 1 and 2 are concerned. Both are good, but as far as class 3 is concerned, Wishart is a little bit bad as compared to class the SVM classifier. Okay, so I hope you have understood this, and next time what we are going to do is something on geocoding, and some 2-3 techniques. And so in remote sensing, first is acquisition of data, then we have first basic step is filtering. From filtering we have to take out the filtered T3 matrix and then start applying things on it. So you can either apply decomposition or you can apply classification. That's it. So the entire thing works on these steps. Now, yes, where the research happens, the people try to invent different filtering techniques. The people try to invent different classification methods. The people try to suggest different techniques where samples can be taken in a different way. So these are where people innovate and try to make the results better and better. So I think this will throw a lot of light for you all on the basic part of headlight image processing. So I think it's almost 8 o'clock, and that's it from my side for today. And if there are any doubts, I'm here for the next 5 to 10 minutes to take your questions. And if you have no questions, you can just leave. And if there are some, before leaving, you can post your outputs of San Francisco. Apurva has done it. Okay, good. Paritosh also has done it. Others also. Yes, also. Others can just post their outputs and then they can do. And if there are questions, you can ask. No problem.